Hello, and welcome to Growing Gratitude. I am Becca Laurie Hector, your host here, and we are here to talk about what my week was like so you can think about what your week was like and think about what are the things that kind of challenging this week, but then what were the things that got you through, right? What were the things that kept you motivated and keep you grateful enough to keep going in the days ahead? So welcome to it. I made it, you guys. Notice we are outside. We made it outside. It is not a rainy day. And so finally we're out here, and I'm going to just cheat my whole situation up a little bit so you can see the sky just a little bit more. It is an epically beautiful day here in Maine. And what a perfect day to talk to you guys about a week that was very confusing for me. It was a difficult week. And um, also, I have to say, I'm playing with my hair a lot in these videos, and I notice it, and I'm sure you guys notice it too. I'm just gonna tell you, growing my hair out, and every time I see it, I'm just like, why am I growing it out? Should I be growing it out? And that's what I'm thinking about. So feel free to weigh in the chat or in your comments. But I'm trying to grow it out. I've had short hair for a really long time now, and kind of forgot what my natural hair looks like. So I'm finally back to my natural color entirely. And now I'm kind of in this grow out phase, and so I'm like, I don't know, weirdly uncomfortable in a new way with my hair growing out. And that's Fiona. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to be out here. You're going to hear her bark. You're going to hear the other dogs bark. We're all out here together in the yard because I just want to give you like a little window into my life. So, yay, Morgan, I'm outside. I know I was just saying how excited I am that we're outside today. And this is exactly how I imagined it, right? It's sort of in my backyard again, talking to you guys about just life in general, like in my one of my favorite spaces in the world, which is out here. And granted, it will get to be winter soon, and I will not be able to be out here. But I might as well be, out here while I can, while the weather's nice, and maybe we'll get a few kind of comfortable days out here in fall, and you guys will get to watch the trees change with me. So take a look at that, take it in. That is behind me, the little gate to what is the rest of our property here. And it's just exactly what it is. It's just a hole into the woods, right? I opened the gate and it's like a few steps, and boom, we're all in the woods. And just behind the trees there is a little creek. And so as a family, we get to just go and disappear in the woods. And I'm hoping to build a house that's a little further off the road and put it in the back there, a little tiny cabin. And that's my little witchy dream for the future. But in any case, here I am. Hey, Red Skirt Media. I know you. That's you, Isabel. How are you? Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for my outfit, Emma. Right? Are we living in that? I really am getting more and more used to them, and now I kind of never want to take them off. Is how I'm feeling about the sunglasses, you guys. That's how I don't know. I'm just feeling about them this way these days, and that's why I wore them inside the last time. Um, I don't know. They make me feel fun, and I don't do a lot of fun things in my life. I'm usually a very serious, thoughtful person, and I don't express the fun side of myself on the outside often. I guess why I like them. Anyway, let me get back on track here. We are 3 minutes in, just chit chatting with you guys. But the point of being here is to talk about challenging weeks and things that are challenging for us in the kind of in a weekly time frame. And then what are the things that get us through? What are the things that we're grateful for? Thank God we have them, because otherwise I would not be sitting here today, kind of things, right? Those little joys like wearing our sunglasses or listening to our dogs outside or disappearing into the woods, right? And this week was kind of an odd week for me. I was having like a combo plan of what I want to say is like almost like reliving old trauma that isn't mine anymore. And also, I've been having I was having sort of a struggle physically this week too. Fiona, you're such a camera hog. Look at her. She just, her whole head takes up the entire screen. Anyway, so yeah, I was just kind of having that kind of week. And as I was getting ready to do gratitude this week, like yesterday, thinking about it and all of that, I was really like, wow, I can't remember that many details from this week. And I was like, why can't I remember that many details from this week? And something I've noticed, and maybe you guys noticed, is that when my trauma gets triggered, I tend to not retain, right? I don't remember what's going on all that well. And so I think that's what went on for me this week. And so I want to talk a little bit about what trauma got triggered for me, because I've been thinking about it really like heavily for a lot of years in my adulthood. And I think I'm just now finally starting to understand it. So, I don't know about you guys, but for me, growing up, when the start of school came, it was a really anxious time for me. I felt like it was a really I started to feel like I got very claustrophobic almost, and like the world was closing in on me, and I started to get a lot of anxiety about not having, for me especially, and for those of us who are late diagnosed, not having enough alone time or enough time to do my special interests again, which is what always happened in school, right? When school picked up, all of my energy had to go to that, and then I had this really horrible time struggling. And for any number of other reasons, which I could go on and on and on about, school was a really, really tough space for me as a, really the entire time. I want to say there's not a memory of school for me that is not attached to like badness. And so it's really weird that here I am. I'm 48 years old, you guys. I haven't had to go to school in September in decades now, right? I haven't had to do any of those things, buy school supplies or think about school outfits or getting any of those things, right? Or having my time compromised in that way in decades. And yet I found myself this week kind of reliving the pain of that trauma. Like for some reason I had this like overwhelming feeling that school was starting, like Labor Day for us here in the States especially, is a really a signal that school is coming. It's usually like the last weekend before school starts. And or you start like the week before or something like that. And so every time Labor Day sweeps around for me here in the States, which I don't get it still because it's been so long, right? It's like my body goes back into some kind of deep memory of this time of year. And so while it is also my favorite time of the year because I love the fall, like deeply love the fall. Um, but at the same time, it represents for me this kind of like punishment time of my life, right? Really painful. And so, in thinking about that, and I just sat with it all week this week, like, why? Where is it coming from? Why? I don't have anything. In fact, as an adult, I have an extra day off, right? Today is a day off for me, right? And so it's like an extra thing. And so, why? Why am I sitting with this so heavily? And so, yeah, I just decided, I have to really think about that and what does that mean and what do I need to do to shift that mindset because it's essentially I'm reliving a lie, right? Because it's not happening anymore. I'm reliving my past, and I'm not being in the present when that's happening, right? I'm not here in the here and now, which is where I strive to be as much as possible. So, my gratitude for this week is really specific. And I am truly grateful this week for my autonomy. Okay. Autonomy is something that I feel I was deprived of most of my life. I felt like the things that I wanted to be, and autonomy, if you don't know what it means, it means lots of different things. There's a bunch of different definitions, but in this way, what I mean is your ability to self govern, your ability to make choices about your life, right? And control those things and take care of your needs and all of that stuff, right? Okay. So that is what my gratitude goes to this week. It's a big giant thank you to have finally built a life that is full of autonomy. In fact, I prioritized it around autonomy without even realizing or using that word, right? I wanted options, I wanted choices, I wanted flexibility in my life, right? And I built around those ideas. And what I was really asking for in my life was some more autonomy, was as much autonomy as I could possibly get. And sitting with myself this week and realizing that I have actually more self governance than I ever imagined I could ever have. And I'm so grateful for that. And it's because of that self governance that I don't have to, at the beginning of September, be forced back into living a life that is something that I don't want to live. It's not the end of a vacation for me anymore, this August to September time, right? It's just another part of my cycle. And so, how I want to really be thinking about it is it's actually fall. It's my favorite time of year. And fall for me, and as I head into winter, my favorite thing about that time is that I have a tendency to become even more introverted than I already am. And I cozy in with the weather and I kind of follow the cycle of the seasons because that's what fits me best, both creatively and like biologically. So I've started following more of a seasonal calendar than like a monthly calendar for myself. And in thinking of that, I'm like, hey, this is one of my favorite times of the year. I get to get all cozy and warm, right? And these time of year used to be full for me of when's the next break from school, when's the next break from school, and I don't have to live like that anymore. And I have the autonomy to take breaks when I need them, not when I'm allowed to. And so that's my big giant gratitude this week, is that I finally was able to understand and have the self-awareness of how much autonomy was taken from me most of my life, and how much autonomy I really need and want in my life. And they're big things. So that is where my gratitude is. And it seems like such a small thing, but it's really a big thing when you have these lifelong triggers, right? That aren't necessarily part of your control. In fact, it had me thinking, and I'm just going to say this out loud while we're on here. If you have not read The Body Keeps the Score, the book, The Body Keeps the Score, please go check it out. Please go read about it, listen to the audio book, read a summary of it somewhere, an interview with the author, because it's exactly this that we talk about. It's like, why does my body go into this space of anxiety and fight or flight, right? Just based on this calendar time. And it's been so long since this piece has even been true for me, right? But the little kid next door, right? He got picked up in the bus for the first time, and I was like in sweats, okay? Like in full sweats for him. And he was happily getting on the stupid bus. It was craziness. So that's the stuff that I've been dealing with this week, and it's been kind of confusing, and it's why I don't really have a lot of details and things from this week, because I had a lot of things triggered this week. But what a big awareness for me that I really, whenever I'm making choices about where I want to be in life and what I want to be doing, that I need to be thinking about autonomy as a piece of that I need that autonomy in order to feel safe, right? That's really my takeaway from this week. That autonomy makes me feel safe, right? So I don't know. I hope you guys are thinking about your gratitudes as I talk about mine. Feel free to share them in chat. I love hearing about your gratitudes and your weeks, and knowing what's going on for you. I love reading your comments when you leave them if you've watched it not live with me. Excuse me. And I really, really enjoy when we chit chat on here and you guys show up live. So please continue to do so. I'm going to cut us short a little bit today, because I think that's really what the thoughts I want to leave you with. It's kind of that idea that autonomy can play such a big role in kind of how we feel about our lives. And if you've given autonomy in your life any real thought, right? Have you put it in that place for yourself? Little reminder before I go, of course, in the description of this video, you will find all of my linky-loos. So you've got links to my website, which I just redesigned. Please go over there and take a look at it. I'm very proud of it. And I also have links to my course and links to a free video you can watch and links to my book, Always Bring Your Sunglasses. And of course, ways you can get in touch with me. You're welcome to follow me on social media, of course, and I'd love to see you there. You can also reach out to me via email, via here, whatever you'd like to do. I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. And if you are currently taking the course, or you will be taking the course, our group coaching calls pick up this coming Monday, September 9th at 12 noon. So you can watch this live stream and then head right to our group coaching call at noon. And I will see you in both places, which will be fantastic. So until next week, I will see you next Monday, 9/9, or just next Monday, period, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time for our next Growing Gratitude Live. Until then, I say to you guys, take such good care of your meat suit, take care of your headspace, right? And always be on the lookout for some glimmers, because those are the things that keep us grateful and the things that keep us motivated to get up every day. See you next week.